What's going on, guys? TieFly85 here again.
And I'm T-Rec87. And welcome to the MGK Podcast. And before we get started, TieFly had just a little bit of news he wanted to share with you guys about the podcast.
Yeah, guys. I just want to give you some exciting news. We are now available on iTunes if you just want to search the MGK Podcast. And we're also available on SoundCloud as the MGK Podcast as well. Description will be down in... the link will be down in the description below. As far as the iTunes, I don't have the link yet set up that way, but if you guys just go search podcast MGK Night or MGK Podcast, you'll find us.
Cool. Well, very exciting. It's kind of nice to be able to listen to it on the go and not necessarily have to watch it, which I feel like a lot of times when I watch podcasts anyways, I just watched the other day H3's podcast with Boogie2988, and to be honest, I didn't even watch 99% of it. I just listened to it while I was doing dishes and stuff like that. So I feel like that's what a lot of people do. So anyways, it's out there for you guys if you want it. And so normally we wouldn't do 2 podcasts in a week, but we felt like there was a lot of different things that we really wanted to talk about and we really didn't want to wait. So we figured, hey, why not do another one? And so let's just go ahead and get started with the different topics we wanted to talk about today. First thing is that the Roseanne, which was recently canceled due to Roseanne Barr, has been brought back and is going to be called The Conners. What's your take on this, Tyfly?
I mean, it sounds really interesting, and I do like the idea that they were trying. I know that we had this conversation before that, what if they just ended up removing her? What could that look like? Well, here's the idea of them removing her, and what could that look like as the Conners. I just don't see this show doing as huge without Roseanne. I mean, I hate to say it, but
sure,
racist tweet or not, it's not going to do as well as it was with her.
You know what's funny about that, man, is that I'm glad the show is back. I mean, I never watched it. I'm glad the show is back for the people that want to watch it, I think it's going to focus on, the daughter a little bit more. And Roseanne or no Roseanne, I'm glad the show is back for all those people that have, their jobs back, and I really like John Goodman, and so I'm glad to see him back on, doing something on the screen. But a lot of the fan base, I guess, is really split. If you look at this article I pulled up here, I mean, a lot of people hearing the Roseanne reboot is the best news. Wow, just read about the Conners getting a show next year and leaving Roseanne in the dust. It's really happening. A lot of people are really excited. But then on the other side, there's a lot of people, I mean, without Roseanne, it's not really the same show. This person here said Roseanne without Roseanne is like The Apprentice without Donald Trump. It sucks.
I like the next tweet past that one.
Which one? About the Kathy
this one? Yeah, it says, haha, ABC is wasting their money. They're doomed before they even started.
I've been reading, no one is going to watch it. To all the rest of the actors on the show, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Roseanne Barr made you all. Without her, you are nothing. Wow.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, as far as it goes for John Goodman and a few of the other actors, sure, they made it big before Roseanne. But yes, Roseanne did make a lot of the daughter and the son and
sure.
The other people that are on the show made it huge because of that show, thanks to Roseanne.
Yeah, I mean, I can 100% agree that, she definitely put in the work to make that show what it was, back in the 90s and everything like that, or 80s or whenever it was on. But at the same time, I mean, is that relevant to now? I don't necessarily know that it is relevant. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how the ratings do, see if there's other people out there that want to watch Roseanne without Roseanne. From what I've personally heard about the show, is that it really just, a lot of people are saying, it wasn't the same, as it was back in the day. So I don't know. I would be more curious to see how the ratings show how people really feel about it, if it's going to start in the tank or if nobody's going to watch it or what. I mean, ABC probably at this point, though, really doesn't care because they've got to pay out that contract money anyways. And so, I mean, if it turns into a hit, great. If it sinks, oh well, we already lost millions of dollars anyways because we had to pay out the contracts.
So do you think since ABC has already announced this and this is a legit thing that's happening, do you think Roseanne... So I was having a conversation with my wife about this, and I'm kind of curious as to what you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they're not going to necessarily say Roseanne's connected to this just because of the outrage, but somehow she is still connected, just not in the show, but she's getting royalty money.
I think that if anything, there's going to be in the first episode, it could be even go so far as to like Roseanne died or something, you know, like they could do something that extreme where the first episode they're like leaving a funeral and they're like, yep, mom died, you know, without actually saying her name or anything like that to avoid any sort of like legal trouble. They've got to find a way to explain that. I think they can't just have like John Goodman being the dad and then like no explanation of where Roseanne went, you know, like what'd she do, take off to like Mexico or something, you know, like what happened. So they're gonna have to explain it in universe, for sure.
Well, I feel like, though, behind the scenes, though, like, even though there's a lot of outrage and controversy and they took the show away from her, I mean, for them to announce this fast after that happened...
Yeah, but ABC doesn't care.
It almost feels like, to me, that she's still there behind the scenes and they're going to pay her, like, hush-hush.
No, I don't think so, dude. I think that... Here's what I think. I think that ABC was already since they're already obligated to pay out those contracts, they're already losing that money there. And ABC must have found a way, because Roseanne owns the character, Roseanne Barr. Like, she creatively came up with that character. That character is hers. But she does not own the show. So if they must have found a way legally, I mean, and maybe they did pay her out and just said, like, hey, we'll give you, like, $5 million if you just shut up and, like, don't speak again. You know, but they must have found a way to legally keep out of trouble about the show, because they wouldn't have said yes to greenlight it and go ahead with it if they thought there was going to be some sort of blowback from Roseanne. If they thought there was like any sort of hint that she could sue him. They must have really found a concrete way to do this, because they had already said they were open to the idea of continuing the show. And like I said, since they're already paying that money, like, they don't really have anything to lose in this scenario, I think.
I guess that's true. That does kind of make sense.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, like, how it all turns out. See if Roseanne, you know, raises up a, you know, excuse the language, but a shitstorm, I guess, you know, or not. I guess we'll see, you know, like what really happens. But
yeah, I am curious to follow this story.
Yeah,
to see.
Absolutely. I want to keep following it, and I am curious to hear about your guys' opinions. Like, what do you guys think about the Roseanne show? Do any of you actually watch it? Is it any good? You know, I just want to know your thoughts on the show in general, because like I said, I don't watch it and I don't care to. It's just not. I'm more into, like, these days. It's really
Lucifer and Discovery.
Lucifer, yeah, Lucifer's my favorite show, but like that's about it really for me for TV. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV.
I thought you watched Discovery.
I did watch Discovery, Star Trek, but since, I mean, they only had the one season, and apparently the other season's not going to come out for the next 6 years because they're having so many problems. I don't even really count it as a show I watch. Like, I don't even remember what company does it. It was ABC with their Movie Pass. Is that who has it?
I think it was.
Yeah, they're losing my ABC. You're losing my Movie Pass money, ABC, or your whatever the hell it is that pass. You know, the $5.99 a month. Because I'm not going to pay for it until you have Discovery. So you guys are losing my money. So get on it. I know the $6 matters, but anyway, moving on. Next up is two conflicting articles about the same thing. It was reported yesterday, due to the lackluster performance of Solo at the box office, that Disney had halted all production on any of the standalone Star Wars films that have been rumored, like the Boba Fett film or the Obi-Wan film, and basically so that they could just concentrate on Episode 9. But there's actually another article, and this one's actually up on IGN, same day, where Lucasfilm completely denied the reports that they are putting everything on hold. And that could just be them trying to deflect things. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think's going on here, Typefly?
I think that it is somewhat of a kind of throwing it out there to feel the waters out. Mm-hmm. Maybe potentially to see what people are thinking. Because honestly, this could go one of two ways, right? Either Lucasfilm is finally backing down and are listening to the fans, or Lucasfilm is completely being an asshole and are just sticking it to the fans, and the fans gained nothing.
So, what do you think? I mean, like, what... Did you see Solo?
I did not. I refused
Okay,
to.
I haven't either, and I will eventually, like when it goes Redbox. Like I really just like don't care about it, but like, and that's the thing though, is I don't think they realized like nobody was going to care about this movie. But I will tell you, if there's a Boba Fett movie, that's pretty high on my list of movies I'd go see, and if there's an Obi-Wan movie specifically with Ewan McGregor, I will absolutely go see that. And so I don't know, if they are putting a hold on all these movies, do you think that's the right move? I mean.
I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I would rather want the Boba Fett Obi-Wan movie than I really want to see Episode 9, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I know you kind of. I'm definitely on the other side of the Star Wars train. I'm one of the few people who really. Like, there's only one Star Wars movie I don't really care for, and that's Attack of the Clones because it's a little bit too long. But I even still enjoyed it to a degree. I didn't necessarily hate it at all. But I love all the Star Wars movies, even the prequels, even Episode 3, you know, like, and 7 and 8 I like too. So I know I'm definitely in the minority, but I don't know. I'm like the worst movie critic in the world because I like almost everything.
Well, I was having a conversation with my brother the other day, and he lives in California, and I was talking with him about Star Wars, and he was trying to argue with me by saying, you're not a true Star Wars fan.
What, if you don't like something?
Yeah, because I was trying to argue with him about the point that people just hated Solo, and you can tell by the numbers of the box office how crap the movie was.
Right.
But he's just totally like in a different mindset of like, no, he's a driver for a living, so he gets to talk to a lot of people, and he said all the people that he talked to about Solo said that they loved the movie. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that just people in California saying that?
No.
Because all the people I've been talking to have definitely not said that.
Well, so I've only known like 2 people that have gone and seen it, and they both said it was pretty good. Like, they weren't like, oh my god, movie of the year, you know, or anything like that, but they did, they enjoyed it, you know, is what they said. They said it was worth seeing.
I feel like that's kind of like one of those, you're softening the blow. That's basically you saying, I hate this movie, but I'm going to be okay with it because I want to make sure that I can get that money in the end.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's kind of like a fake review. It's like all those people that were going to see The Last Jedi 3 or 4 times and were just being like, well, by the 3rd time I liked it.
Oh, that's good.
For the first 2 times you hated it? Like, what?
That's great. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know. I know there's a lot of diehard Star Wars fans out there, and I like the new movies. I like Daisy Ridley. I like John Boyega. All those guys. I wasn't happy with Mark Hamill's role.
I have nothing against the actors at all. I think the actors did a great job for what they were given. Right. I mean, it was the writing and the directors that made the movie shit, honestly.
I mean, I saw this it was really great, this article the other day about Episode 8. You know, the end, and spoiler alert for any of you that haven't seen Episode 8, but if you haven't at this point, you're probably not ever going to see it. Is that at the end, Luke Skywalker, you know, when he's out in the sand and he, like, halts the entire army, but he's not actually even there. They're like, that was like the most Jedi thing anyone has ever done, because he completely stopped an entire army full of people in a pacifistic way, you know, without using actual violence, not actually hurting anybody. Yeah, it just, like, it was a really great article. I wish I could find it again. I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it.
I do completely agree with that statement you just made about it being the most epic thing that you've ever seen a Jedi do, per se.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense to me on why, if they've had these kind of powers this whole time, like, why haven't we seen this before?
Oh, sure.
I mean, that seems like an easy way to go kill the Emperor. Oh, let's just project ourselves into the Death Star and slice him up.
I mean, but you can't actually slice him up because you're just like a...
Well, sure, but you know what I mean? It's one of those things...
Sure,
where, like,
I mean, but it also did kill him. So, through having to do it, so I don't know. But I don't know. I like those movies. I wasn't keen on Solo mainly because of the... Like, I hate to say this, but because of the actor. Like, he didn't look anything like Han Solo. He didn't sound like Han Solo. And it just didn't even look like that good of a movie, and it didn't even really look like that much of a Star Wars movie to me. So I don't know. I think they had the wrong tone, the wrong cast. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I just was randomly yesterday looking up Mark Hamill tweets,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking for images because I was creating a thumbnail. But when I was going through the images, I saw these pictures of young Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, next to images of actors that are today, and they look so much like Mark Hamill in the younger days of Luke Skywalker that I was just all like, how is it possible that you couldn't have found a look-alike Harrison Ford? Why did you have to choose this particular guy to play Harrison Ford? You couldn't have found somebody else. Also, too, another thing that irks me about Solo that a lot of people aren't talking about is how exactly is the Solo movie separated from like any of the original Star Wars films, considering the fact that Han Solo in the original films was maybe in his mid 30s, early 20s, 30s, somewhere in
the original films.
Yeah, he wasn't that old.
I feel like he had to have been in his 30s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like they're only going 10 years back in the Solo story, which means he would almost look identical to how he would in the, you know what I mean? They just did a horrible job. They were not thinking this through.
I agree. And so just real quickly, last thing about the Star Wars. There was another thing I saw yesterday, and it was about, let's see here. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can pull my article back up. My computer's running really slow right now. Sorry, guys. So, Star Wars fans launch a very realistic crowdfunder to remake The Last Jedi. And so apparently Star Wars fans want to just remake the movie entirely. They've already raised, though, like over like $2 million to do it, which I thought was like super crazy. Like, I didn't even know what to think about that, honestly. Like, would you like to see it remade?
Yes, I would love to see, even if they can't remake it. I've heard a lot of stories and read a lot of articles about people who are re-editing it with the material that's already given, right? Because you can't remake the movie. There's no way to pull, you can't remake the actors, redo things.
Sure.
So you're trying to use the stuff that you already have, but retell the story in how you can, I guess.
Right. They're talking about completely like just getting new completely reshooting it and redoing it like with new actors and stuff. I mean, I would be curious to see it. I think it's going to get shut down like hard. But I mean, it's good for them, for trying to do what they want, what their vision is. I think that should absolutely be supported.
I think if they make enough money to have Disney be like, okay, fine, we'll do it. If you give us the money, only if Mark Hamill is the director.
That'd be cool, but I mean, like, I don't think Disney would do that because, like, that would compromise their vision for what's going on.
Well, their vision sucks, and obviously everybody knows that it sucks, so give it to somebody else.
Well, Mickey Mouse doesn't come break your kneecaps because he clearly doesn't agree with you.
A lot of people are saying that, like, what if Disney bought Star Wars from Lucasfilm just to destroy it?
Why would they
turn around and sell it?
Why would they do that?
Broken. Well, people are saying now that it's so broken that how are they going to bring fans back that they're going to end up losing money off of it and have to sell the franchise off to like somebody else, like Warner Brothers or.
I think because the first Star Wars the first 3 films were so iconic and it was such a long time ago that I mean the prequel trilogy had the same hate, the same exact hate that these movies are getting. That I think that no matter what movie anybody makes, I think that you can't please everybody, and I think there's always going to be fans that are going to be like, this sucks, like no matter what you do, it really doesn't matter. And I think, but in 10 years from now, will that be the same? Because the prequel trilogy was is about 10 years old now, and a lot of people aren't so hating on Hayden Christensen anymore. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad, uh-oh, that didn't sound good. A lot of people are not hating on him. They like him a lot more now, and they're starting to remember that more fondly, just like we remember the original series more fondly. And so I'm curious to see in like 10 years, will these movies be remembered, more fondly or not? Because that seems to be what I'm noticing, like this trend and this pattern of Star Wars is that like, oh, it's not the original, so it sucks, and then 10 years from now they're like, yeah, it was alright,
I can kind of see your point. Like 10, 15 years from now, they're going to look back on the The Force Awakens and Last Jedi and be like, it really wasn't that bad, because the Star Wars movie they'll have 10 years from now will suck so bad that we'll have forgotten about The Last Jedi.
Right.
Really quickly, though, I just want to add as a side note for any of you who love Natalie Portman, because I love Natalie Portman.
Sure.
If none of you have seen the Natalie Portman rap from SNL or the Natalie Portman rap 2.0 from the Lonely Island Boys, I'd highly recommend that you go check it out. The Natalie Portman rap 2.0, search it on YouTube and watch the video. You will not be disappointed. Guaranteed, you will laugh your ass off.
I'll have to check it out. Oh, no, I think I actually did see it, now that I think about it. I think I saw at least part of it.
There's a part with the Star Wars where she talks about the prequels. It's freaking hilarious.
She's actually, have you seen, I know this is a little off top, we're getting way off topic here, but hey, do you ever watch Hot Ones?
Yes.
Okay, did you see her episode on Hot Ones?
Yeah, I saw that she was recently on there.
Yeah, no, it was a really good episode. I love that show. If you guys have never seen Hot Ones, it's on YouTube.
Natalie Portman seems to be making a huge comeback all of a sudden.
Yeah,
after Black Swan and stuff.
She's kind of making a resurgence for sure. But yeah, Hot Ones is like one of the best shows out there ever. It's so good, and so you should definitely check it out if you have not. It's a good interview show. And basically, they sit there and eat chicken wings, and they get hotter and hotter. And Sean Evans is the host, and he asks the celebrity questions and stuff like that. And it's just really good. Watching them suffer, while they try to answer questions is great.
Yes.
So you should definitely check that out. Anyway, so sorry, I know we got super off topic, but moving on from Star Wars, I wanted to talk a little bit about MoviePass. MoviePass has, I know there's something you want to talk about it too, Tyfly. MoviePass is having, I'm on the wrong article. They're going to introduce surge pricing in July. And what basically it's going to be is that if you want to go see there's a certain movie opening weekend and it's a huge movie, there's going to be like a little bit of a premium you pay to be able to go see that right then. They're saying the average additional price is going to be between $2 and $6, so it's not like it's crazy expensive. When I first read this, I had an initial knee-jerk reaction where I was like, well, F you, MoviePass, I'm never gonna pay for that. And then I rethought about it, and I reread it, and I was like, God, $2 isn't really that bad extra if you're already only paying $10 a month and you go see movies. If you go see more than one movie a month, that's, I think, well worth it. What do you think, Typhoon?
I completely agree. I'd be willing to pay $5 more a month, like $15 a month versus $10, if it meant that I can see the same movie twice. Not that I would ever see a movie twice again. That just seems kind of weird, because I know a lot of people do like.
A lot of people love doing that,
once.
dude. I think it's the weirdest thing, but a lot of people do.
It is really weird, and then also too the not being able to see 3D. Now, I'm not like the hugest fan of 3D movies, but I know there are a lot of people that do, and obviously it's come a long ways for it to still be around this many years later. So it's just as kind of an odd thing that they wouldn't allow that in the service, but I'd be willing to pay an extra $5. It kind of brings us back to the point of Xbox Game Pass, right? Mm-hmm. Where we were talking about with all of these new titles coming in, could they charge more money?
Right.
And I think that they could. So it kind of makes sense that MoviePass would kind of move into that direction, especially with AMC theaters looking to put a kibosh on MoviePass by introducing their own kind of MoviePass-esque for AMC. It's called AMC Stub A-List, or AMC Stubs, sorry. But they're going to do the same thing, but theirs is going to be $20 a month.
Right.
You're only going to be able to see 3 movies a week, but you can see the same movie twice if you want to, and they don't restrict you from 3D.
Right, so you can go see IMAX, you can go see 3D, whereas with MoviePass, you can only see 2D movies right now.
But you could see one movie a day for every day.
Right, but it can't be the same movie. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, you can't see the same movie, but I mean, the idea of only 3 movies a week and 3D are seeing the same movie are paying $10 a month and seeing a movie a day for 30. You know what I mean? It's kind of seems to me like a no-brainer. I'd pay $10 a month.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think they both have different offerings that are good in a way. I have a hard time. I mean, you're making the argument for somebody that I would consider like a movie fanatic. Like if either of these passes really, like 3 movies a week is 3 more movies a week than I ever normally go see anyways. You know, like I don't really go to the movies. And so I don't know, movie pass, I don't know that makes sense for somebody like me. Maybe it would get me to go to the movies more, but I don't know, but $20 a month seems pretty steep. If they would have brought it a little closer in line to what MoviePass is doing, I think they would have gotten a much better reception. I know you were saying like on Twitter and stuff like that, like they were kind of taking some flack and MoviePass was making fun of them for their service. I think if it was like 10 or maybe even 15 a month and they had this, I think that they would have been better received.
Yeah, it was funny because MoviePass making a jab at AMC by saying, you know, thanks for making MoviePass look more appealing now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of the whole, like, you know, it's like double the money.
Right.
So, I mean, it definitely does make MoviePass look more appealing, but on the other hand, you know, MoviePass is kind of having a hard go. To me, MoviePass sounds like an amazing thing, and I feel like, why isn't everybody on board with it?
Right.
But I guess apparently they're still kind of taking a dive in the market share, so hopefully we'll see about them picking back up. I mean, I just signed up. I'm sure there's got to be, you know, hundreds of thousands of people signing up all the time.
Oh, sure. I mean, so I guess my take on that would be that it's a brilliant idea, and I just don't know that it's like either their message hasn't gotten out, like the word hasn't gotten out about it enough in a way yet, like they need to spend some money on marketing or something, or maybe it's just not ready for prime time. Like maybe people aren't ready to do a subscription to movies, you know, whereas we will subscribe to Netflix, we'll subscribe to Hulu.
You know, I'm going to agree with you on the marketing part of that, because I never even knew MoviePass existed until I started watching, who was it? I think it was either Angry Joe or Boogie2988 or one of them. It was somebody mentioned on YouTube.
Right.
Was the one who mentioned it, and I was just all like, what the hell is this thing? And then I look into it, and I'm just like, wow, this sounds great.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And now I'm using it. So
I mean, it's like one of those things like that. I don't know why. They just need to spend a little bit of money and get some advertisements out there because, yeah, dude, like I feel like people just don't know about it, and it's gonna end up tanking if they don't get more people. Like I always hear that, like they're doing financially like not great, but it's a brilliant idea, and I feel like it's more the marketing more than people aren't willing to pay $10 a month. Because if I could pay $10 a month, I mean, like if I thought I was gonna go see more movies, honestly, like. Yeah, I'd totally pay for it. I just don't. I don't go see movies every month ever. So I don't know. It's hard for me to commit to that, I guess.
Yeah, I can get that. I mean, you're busy. You're busy.
Yeah, I mean. Anyway, moving on from that, there is some awesome news I want to talk about just real briefly. So just we were talking, I think this was on our last podcast, about Fortnite not being cross-platform with PlayStation, and apparently Nintendo and Microsoft are really having a little bit of fun with this and kind of taking a jab at Sony at this point, because there is now Minecraft is crossplay between the Switch and the Xbox. Which I think is freaking like brilliant strategy, and just like the let's see, this isn't the actual tweet, I don't think.
Yeah, click that article up top.
Is it this article here? Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, here's the actual tweet. Nintendo of America tweeted out, "Hey, at Xbox, since we can play together in Minecraft now, did you want to build something?" Xbox replied, you know, our bodies are ready. What are we building?
Our bodies.
Bodies?
Yeah, bodies?
Bodies. It's for sure bodies.
Oh, okay. I thought they were making a jab at Nintendo.
No, I don't think so. Even though that does sound like a Nintendo word. But between that and having Fortnite be crossplay compatible, Sony's really taking some heat here, dude. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it serves them right. I'm just like, you stuck your foot in your mouth and you shoved it in there really hard. So I don't know what you expected. It's right. It's like I said in the last time when we were talking about this. Like, fans aren't going to forget. And here's another perfect example of people aren't going to forget. is when Nintendo can play nicely with Microsoft.
Yeah, Nintendo.
And when PlayStation, and here's PlayStation fans' arguments. Are you ready for this? Stupidest argument I think anybody could ever make. It's Minecraft. It's Minecraft. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, yeah, it's probably the #1 most biggest selling game in the world. It's Minecraft. You're right.
I mean, people are saying it though because they just say like, "Oh, Minecraft's dead. Nobody plays Minecraft anymore." But I'm sure there's still a lot of people that play Minecraft. I mean, like
when they added that, we should look up the stats of when they added the Minecraft crossplay to Xbox. I guaranteed you that it was probably downloaded 1 billion times on the Switch.
Oh God, I wouldn't doubt it, dude.
I mean, just to be able to play on your Switch over to like Xbox, PC, like it's a no-brainer. Like it's a no-brainer that every freaking gaming community should want this. It shouldn't matter whether you hate Xbox or you're a Sony fan or you're an Xbox fan or you're a Nintendo. It doesn't matter. Like we should all want the same thing and a common goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's all just come together. Let's stop being like, well, Xbox sucks, so PlayStation's gonna stick it to them. Like, who cares?
And I mean, like a lot of people are saying like Minecraft sales. Let's see. This is February of last year. Minecraft sales hit 122 million. Like that's a lot.
55 million monthly concurrent subscribers. Like, how can you get any bigger than that?
Let's see.
This is a game that's been around since when, I remember started playing games. When PC games became a thing. This was like, what, 12 years? Oh, it's been a little over 10 years.
It was a long time ago.
It's probably, if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say between 11 to 12 years. Minecraft has been around, which I know it doesn't seem like a long time, but that game is, it's a phenomenon. It's like Fortnite.
Yeah,
it's one of those games that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're like, when is the bubble gonna pop?
Right, it just never dies, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I just think it's good to see them like playing together, and even if it's just an enemy of my enemy situation, which I feel like it is. It's not like Nintendo and Microsoft are friends now. It's just this is more of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Well, no offense to like any other CEOs or anything like that, but I feel like Phil Spencer is probably hands down one of my favorite CEOs of any like actual gaming company. The guy is like pretty witty and funny.
Yeah.
And he really does try to appease the fans. So
no, he tries to. I think he tries to be relatable to like the Xbox crowd, especially.
I think so.
I think so. So anyway, just so a couple other things I want to go over just real quickly. The Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming out on the Nintendo Switch here pretty soon, and if you pre-order it, you also get included an old Super Nintendo game called Dragon Ball Z Super Butoden, which I've actually played way back in the day. Super great. Our video is probably going to get copyrighted by Nintendo for this, but it's just like an old school like Street Fighter looking game, basically, is all it really is. And but
okay, stop it now. If we only get a couple seconds,
maybe they won't. But it's a lot of fun for just like an old school game. And for any of you that haven't played Dragon Ball FighterZ, by the way, I just rented it last night on Redbox. I was leaving work and I have a Redbox there, and I saw it and I was just like, oh cool, I'll pick it up. It's actually really good. It's definitely worth checking out if you're a fighting game fan or if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. I mean, for sure, the graphics are amazing, and it's simple enough that you can pick it up pretty quick. But there's a lot of, I think, depth to it. So Dragon Ball Z FighterZ gets 2 thumbs up for me. And if it would ever just go on sale for less than like $40, I would buy it. But I won't.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, it's September 28th. So you can pre-order now. It's out September 28th. And just so everybody knows, the SNES game Dragon Ball Z was the previously released version from Japan. So it's not going to be dubbed in English. It is going to be the Japan version of the game.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know that there actually is an English version. These games a lot of times don't come to America. I played them on an emulator just to experience it. But yeah, you got to get used to the Japanese voices and all that, I guess. But anyway, it's pretty cool. Some Fortnite news. Fortnite earned $100 million on iOS in the first 90 days.
That's insane. That is just insane.
That's stupid. Honestly, like, that is crazy stupid. Like,
and $100 million, that's all in-game purchases too. In-game purchases.
90
It's not because the game's free.
90 days. Yeah, I mean, like if I was to, like, let's see here. Do I even have? Let me see my calculator. If everybody just bought, like the season pass, which is like $10 every season, so like let's see, 100 million is a lot of zeros. That's 100,000. That's a million. That's 10 million. That's 100 million. Divided by, let's say, like that $10. That's 10 million people. Like, if nobody bought any cosmetic stuff at all, and it was purely just people buying the season pass, that's 10 million people paying for the season pass, dude. Like, that's crazy money. And
that's insane.
Yeah,
it's just insane. We need to come up with another game like Fortnite.
Yeah, no doubt. If you guys have like a video game idea where we can knock off a different video game idea but make it better, let us know, because I would definitely like to be a millionaire. So anyways, just wanted to cover that and just talk about that a little bit. I mean, very cool. I mean, I played it, I think, on my phone for a minute, and it definitely wasn't bad. It wouldn't be like my platform of choice, but I guess, like a lot of kids these days, playing on the go is totally an option. Or you can find like a Bluetooth controller. I guess you could just still play it on a controller, which would be ideal. You probably have a huge advantage over other people though. But yeah, no, that's actually really cool.
There was another side note on that I just wanted to mention, to touch on too, was about the PUBG Fortnite, PUBG suing Fortnite over saying that their game is too similar for the Battle Royale mode. But I just feel like it's just funny to me to think that PUBG and Fortnite are going to battle it out 1v1, like in the battlegrounds of Korea, in the courts, to see who wins. But I just think it's pretty interesting to see these two companies come together to like try to battle it out in court.
Battle on court. There'll be a storm bubble that'll close in on them.
You know for a fact that it's just because freaking Fortnite or PUBG is just pissed off because they're Fortnite came along and did it better
because they lost their market share and now they're pissed.
Like, they lost hardcore market share.
Oh yeah, dude, their player numbers have dropped hard. I mean, but. I am curious to see how that goes. I am curious as to why they chose Korea, because I don't know if the copyright laws are different, but I'm curious to see how that ever plays out, and maybe they're just probably going to end up getting like a payout from the Fortnite people. But I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. Fortnite recently came under fire too for using a bunch of like assets from like the Unreal Engine store. Or I think it was Unreal Engine that made the game, right? They used, yeah, like a bunch of like the trees and this, that, and the other were all like assets that they purchased, and people were like, "You didn't even like really make your own game; you just like bought assets for it." And their response was like, "Well, yeah, we were really small. We didn't like have the time or the money to like make all this stuff, and it was the smart thing to do."
Well, that's the crazy thing, if you think about it, is PUBG came. I don't remember who the PUBG developer was, but they had way more money to make that game.
Bluehole.
And they couldn't even spend the amount of money, the probably ridiculous amount of money they spent making that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then here comes Fortnite spending, half of the, like 50% less on their game, but somehow it's now 100% more better than PUBG.
Well, I mean, to PUBG or Fortnite's advantage there is that they already kind of like they saw how PUBG did it and made it better, so they already had like something in place. I mean, they both using like the same engine, but the yeah, they already saw like, okay, well, PUBG has this in place. They have like there's a a giant blue force field that closes in. It's a big battle royale, blah blah blah. How can we improve upon that and have like different game modes and a different art style? And the building of like the ramps and the buildings and stuff like that is really cool. So they improved on what PUBG did, and now PUBG's pissed. So, but I say PUBG needs to they need to adapt and change and make a better game.
Yeah.
If they want to make a comeback.
Maybe PUBG just needs to disappear into the shadows and you create a new game.
Or quit spending your money on court and use it to improve your game. Like, if you really want to beat someone, make a better game. don't try to sue them into the ground, because you're just I think they're gonna lose. But so
I'm gonna have to say, moving on from that, something that I'm not very excited about, that I'm very, very devastated, because we just had a conversation about how I'm super stoked. I really hope that the next gen consoles focus more on VR and more virtual reality and that kind of stuff. So
right.
when I came across this thing about Xbox and Phil Spencer talking about how we're going to get rid of the support of virtual reality, and they're going to not focus on that. They're going to focus more on the family. Something like family gaming or something.
Okay. So what it was is that, I mean, we were kind of wondering, because in Xbox, when they made this statement about the new Xbox console that's going to be coming, they called it a family of devices, and that's like where me and you got like the could it be VR idea, or is it going to be like phones, or what's it going to be? And they said that you were right in what you said. The quote's not actually in this article, but they said something about like.
I have it.
Like a family friendly, or a broad family gaming or something like that.
No, it says our primary focus, our focus is primarily on experience you would play on your TV, is basically what they're trying to say. But like family, it's a family of devices. But here's the whole thing, just really quickly to kind of put it in for everybody. It says we don't have any plans specific to Xbox consoles in virtual reality or mixed reality. Our perspective on it has been and continues to be that the PC is probably the best platform for more immersive VR and MR as an open platform. It just allows for faster, more rapid iteration. There are plenty of companies investing in it, and the hardware side of the content are some combination thereof. Obviously, no phones, augmented reality is a good scenario, as well as that's going to grow. But as it relates to Xbox, they're basically not focusing on VR at all.
So yeah, so it sounds like it's basically the same. Kind of what I had said is that VR isn't there yet, and it's kind of a niche. And that's what I said in the last podcast, as far as like the costs and everything else. Like, it's just not there yet. And I think when it gets there, they will probably support it. But just for now, we're stuck with PC or PlayStation VR. PlayStation continues to support it. So I'm super bummed about that personally.
I am very bummed.
I would love to see an Xbox VR headset type thing. But at the same time, I probably wasn't going to buy it anyways, because it was probably going to cost like an extra $300. So there's that, I guess.
But this is the crazy thing, though. Scroll back down really quick.
Oh, I closed the article.
In 2000... Okay, well, Phil Spencer, anyways, in that article back in 2016, when he was originally talking about the Xbox One X, the biggest push for that was that they were going to support VR, and there was going to be more VR capability. For him to say that back in 2016, and then here we are 2018, they're just like, oh, we've given up.
Well, I think that they were kind of like waiting for the VR market to grow, and I think that's what they thought was going to happen. I thought they thought it was going to be much more widely adopted than it has been. And so they were like, yeah, we're totally all in. And then they realized, like say like 6 months down the road, they're like, nobody's buying this really, besides people that are like hardcore all about it. And so like they decided like, well, hey, maybe this is a waste of money. Maybe we don't want to spend, $1 jillion developing this, and then like 8 people buy it. Yeah. So I mean, I think it was a good business decision. But I just think eventually, given time, they'll come back around to it, when it makes sense, I think.
Yeah, or it'll turn into the Kinect, where it just fades away into history.
Yeah, or
it's a thing we remember from 10 years ago.
It really bums me out about the Kinect. Like, I have a Kinect somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is in my room, but it's somewhere. And it was
I was on the Kinect train. Like, when it first was released, I bought it, right?
Dude,
the day it was released.
We were totally on the Kinect train. I remember when the Kinect came out. So back when the Kinect came out, Tyfly and I were both working at Best Buy together. And, obviously at Best Buy you get a chance to, like, demo the games when it's slow. You can go over. They had, like, the gaming stations, and there was an area with Kinect, and I very specifically remember playing, like, Dance Dance Revolution or whatever the hell it was. And it was so cool. I thought it was so rad. But no, here we are like 10 years later, and like just faded into oblivion, which I guess it was time to die, but it still makes me sad.
Yeah, kind of like the Wii U.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea, poor execution. And really, like, the Switch is a better version of the Wii U. Like, that's all it is a better, more refined version of the Wii U. Whereas, like, the Wii U still had, like, the screen on the controller and this and that, and the Switch still has that too, but the Switch is more portable and smaller. Yeah, you know, give it...
People are actually arguing, I know this is going to sound like a weird argument, but people are actually arguing that the Wii U was a better console overall for a mid-generation Nintendo console than the Switch was. Than the Switch is now.
I think the Switch has just not gotten you those big games yet. I think if you talk to me in a year when Metroid's come out and like Smash has come out, like I think people will probably feel differently about that. That's just my opinion, though.
Well, thankfully, you don't have to wait a year.
Yeah.
Smash is coming out in what? No, December.
Is it December? I mean, that's still a ways off, but
Yeah.
and the last of the news we wanted to talk about today, since everyone is suing everyone, Bethesda is suing Warner Brothers for a blatant ripoff of Fallout Shelter, which they're making like a Westworld game for mobile, which Fallout Shelter is also a mobile game. But just real quickly, I want to show you guys this comparison between the two. And here's Fallout Shelter, which I'm sure a lot of you have played, and here is the Westworld game. And I definitely see some similarities there. I mean, the art style's not exactly the same, but it's real similar. I mean, obviously, the art style is very similar. I think that like the setting of the game is very similar. In what you do. I mean, Westworld's a little bit different, I guess, but
it's the what they're stealing is the multi-room. We're scroll back up. It says right here the multi-room underground vault, environment, characters, behavior, shading, room placement, and more are all complete with side-by-side images. So kind of similar to what T-Rec 87 is showing you right here. There's more images than just this one. This is the only one they're showing. But there's more images where they're showing you side-by-side comparisons to show you that like how similar it looks. And if they have a lot of these same similar, you know, multi-rooms, underground, vault environment, character behavior, like if all of that stuff is identical to it, then yeah, they pretty much overlaid the game and called it Westworld.
Right, yeah, and that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, I don't know.
It sounds like to me that they're definitely going to win this one.
I feel like
if
if
you look at that.
Yeah.
If you were just to look at that image and the description of what the game is, I mean, it definitely is a blatant ripoff of Fallout Shelter.
I feel like for any like game studio to like go up and say that they're going to sue like Warner Brothers, though, I feel like you have to be pretty confident in your case to be willing to go sue a big company like that. You just got a big bag of cash you're willing to burn, you know, potentially. So I feel like they must have a case there, and there must be something to it. So yeah, is there anything else you really want to talk about today, dude?
I think that's it. People are still losing their minds over Rick leaving The Walking Dead, but other than that, I think we're all good.
Well, I'll let you make a video on your own about that because I'm not talking about it. So
I just figured I'd mention it every time, you know.
Until I had to give in and start watching The Walking Dead. I'm like 10 years late to the party.
Yeah,
Anyways, that's it for today, guys. We will be back again next week at some point, probably early next week. You never know with us, really. And there will be some content here and there throughout the week. So, anyways, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If any of you have any comments or anything, or we would love to hear what you have to say about any of these stories, you know, regarding any of it. People suing people, Fortnite, Switch, Sony, all of it. Let us know down below. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And always remember, stay awesome.